Chris Hudson. I'm from the Dubai British School. It's my 10th year of teaching. It's my second year in Dubai. Previous to that, I've been working in the UK in a place called Manchester, which is famous for its football teams, neither of which I support. I've been the primary subject lead at Dubai British School. This is my second year of doing that. Prior to that, I was in the UK and I was the English subject lead for the last sort of 6 years there. So I've been doing it quite a while. What I wanted to come along to do and speak with you today is about some ideas that you can take away and put into your classroom if you like them. And the good news is they cost absolutely nothing, they're really quick to make, and you can embed them across the school. Last year we were inspected and we moved from very good to outstanding, and last week we had our inspection again and we're just waiting on that report to come out. So what I thought it might be useful is just to spend the first part of today's session just talking through some of the questions I was asked, just to give you a heads up if you're being inspected, or just some things for you to think about over the forthcoming 12 months really within the school year. So I had 2 meetings. First one was to discuss English across the school, so I'm primary and the secondary one was there as well with the inspector, and then there was a second meeting to discuss reading across the curriculum, which is a huge focus this year in terms of inspection. So the first questions that they asked us really was, well, what have you done since last year? So that might be useful for you to think about if you're coming up with an inspection. What are your focus areas? What do you want to develop further this year? How are pupils involved in shaping the curriculum? Pupil voice surveys and questionnaires, and how we use testing in the national agenda to inform everything that we do at Dubai British School. So that was that. We discussed over with that, and she asked us for a few bits more information. It went really well. And then we had a follow-up meeting about reading through the curriculum. And everything I'm trying to do here in today, so I've got a range of activities for us to have a go at, is you can use those not just in your English lessons, but in other subject areas as well, whether that's your history, your geography, your Arabic, your French, and so on and so forth. Big question that she was interested in was the inspector was, how are weaker readers identified? Is that information shared with other teachers, and what do you do to support those within the class? So that might be something for you to think about going back to your schools. Does everyone know who the weaker readers are? Is that information shared, and what are you doing in not just your English lessons but in other your subjects to support them with their sort of struggling, those barriers to reading? So that's something for to think about. Have you created a stimulating reading environment within your school? Not just in your classrooms, your reading corners and so on and so forth, but is it, when you walk into the school, does it feel like it's a reading-friendly place? Is it promoted? Something to think about. Students' attitude towards reading as well. And this was a big one towards the end, was, are the students able to read for meaning as well as for pleasure as well? So just some things for you to think about in your forthcoming inspections. So I've got over here a brief summary of what I want to go through. My name's Chris Hudson, and let's get started then. Okay, so what I'm going to focus on today is primarily comprehension skills. I do apologise if I sort of patronise or dumb down. I think of it, when I talk to parents, is reading's got 2 parts to it. The first one is decoding. What do those words say on the page? So say, for example, French is not my strong subject, but I can read it and make it sound a bit French. Hello? Yeah? Okay. Slow down. Okay. Yeah. No, sorry. I'm up against it at the time. Sorry. So first of all, reading has got 2 parts: decoding, what the words say on the page, and comprehension. I'm going to speak about comprehension today. So the decoding part is, can you read the words on the page? So say, for example, I can speak a tiny little bit of French, and I can sort of make sense of the words, and I can pronounce it, and I can sound a little bit like I'm speaking French. Don't test me on that though, okay? The other part is comprehension, and can you understand what those words mean? So I'm not going to speak about decoding, but if you want to have a look at something to include to improve children's understanding, this one's really good. It's called precision teaching, is that one. I'd recommend that for looking at what the words say on the page. And this one I'm going to talk about to help you with your comprehension. Okay? So this is quite a nice little diagram to think of, and we want to get the children up into this area over here where they can read the words on the page and they can understand it. So I've used that analogy there as well, and if you're familiar with British comedy, there's Del Boy over there who's famous for speaking rubbish French. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to think of, hello.
I'm sorry, but will we have the presentations on the website, or we just can take pictures?
By all means, take pictures. I'm not sure whether it will be shared. I've got my email address, though, and if you email me, I can send it to you if it doesn't get shared. But feel free to take pictures. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to give you ideas that you can take and put in from FS right the way through to year 6. Sorry, up to 10, 11 years old. Okay? So starting with this one over here, what I always say to the children is think of Peter Pointer or Petra Pointer. And what I want the children to do is I want them to be able to point to the evidence that's within the text. So if the question was something simple as, how old is the boy? I want the children to use Peter or Petra Pointer to go into there and point to that information within the text. So how can we work with the children on developing those skills? Lots of different ways, but one of my favourite is Where's Wally? Okay? So you can use this right the way from FS, they always go through, and now I can't believe how much Wally's changed. You've got to find his friend, you've got to find his handbag, you've got to find all these different things over here. So, okay, ready to work as a 3, okay? There is a prize for the person who can find, oh, in fact, maybe you should have them face down while you're waiting, should if you work as a row. Sorry, they're getting a head start on you over there, aren't they? I do apologise. There you go. You're looking for Wally or Waldo, this person over here. Can you see if you can find him? Using your skimming, and then when you find him, you need to find this character, Waldo, over here, yeah. Yeah. You got him? Yep. Oh, not quite, no, he's wearing the red and white stripy top. You need to look for the red and white stripy top. You got him? Oh, let's verify. Let's see if you have. Excellent. Well done. We've got a winner over here. There you go. The Costa chocolate for you there, over there.
Excuse me.
No problem. No problem. There you go. You could break it now. There's different ones over there. So. Now this is like We're the Children, where I'm trying to do the speak and you'll carry on looking through. So what we want to focus on there with the children is, can they use those retrieval skills? Can they use their fingers to support them with evidence? So if we said, for example, what colour is the boy's shirt? They go into the text and they point to it. And what you do there is, for example, my colleague over here might not know where it is, but they've seen where I'm pointing, so it draws their eyes and attention to that as well. So there's some other games you can play. Moving through the school, there's a big focus. Sorry, I'm going to talk primarily about the British national curriculum because that's all I know. I'm not an expert on any other areas. But when the curriculum changed in the UK in 2014, there was a big focus on grammar, okay? About the different types of punctuation and different grammatical terms. So you could play this in your class. This is only a few minutes activity here. You could have it on the whiteboard when they come in, okay? Between you and your partner, see if who can point to a verb. Between you and your partner, who can point to an adverb, and so on and so forth. That's a little activity you can do, and it's that idea of that bit of competition. It speeds things up a little bit, okay? Another activity, retrieval one, this is quite a nice little one, okay? It's musical bingo. So by the time that children come into year 3, so they're 7 and 8 years old, they need to be able to organise their ideas into subheadings and into paragraphs. So what I've got here is I've got a list of songs. There's 1 to 36. Now what you could do, obviously you could choose your own bits of information. Music's quite nice. And you could get the children to sort of snip these up, or you could snip them up for them. And what you want is, can they put them into different groups, into different headings? Because what we want to get is not just, are they really good readers, but can they use those skills to become really good writers, okay? So when we look at this here, we might organise the ideas into, I don't know, male artists and female artists, songs they like, songs they don't like, so that they're putting them into ideas. And then what we're going to do is, can they use those skimming and scanning techniques? So they're looking for the letters at the start of the words, okay, and they're drawing those attentions to them here. Should we have a go? Yep. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a sheet here. Hopefully I've got enough. If not, if you just share between you and your buddy at the side. What I want you to do, I did say on here, because all of these ideas I've worked with our staff on including within their practice. We'll take some of the ideas, but what we want is we want consistency across the school, okay? Because if we're moving towards outstanding, we need to see those sort of, if you imagine a tree, you want that the main root of it going through, okay? So what you can do here is just choose any 4 numbers between 1 and 36, and let's have a go at musical bingo and see how we get on, all right? So I'll hopefully got enough, but I've not got enough seats for everyone, so if you just, maybe one between 2 would work. There is a prize as well, sorry.
Another chocolate?
Yeah, another chocolate. How did you know? There you go.
I'm waiting for the answer to the first one.
Where is he got it? I'm not sure. If you look for his red and white top somewhere, on that one there's different, people got different ones. Yeah. There you go. It's one between 2, but I might have some spares for you, so. Sorry. There you go. How are we for time? There you go. I might have one each. There you go. You're in luck. Thanks very much. Okay. Yeah, choose 4, because you probably won't have time to go. In fact, yeah, choose 3, sorry. Choose 3 numbers between 1 and 36. So say, for example, I might go for 4, 12, and 19. Okay? Okay. You got 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, now I do apologise. I appear to have got a huge amount of pocket fluff in my audio headphone jack, so it's not working very well. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to go really basic. I do apologise. I'm just going to play it through my phone, and you're going to have to listen and try and see if you can spot which one. So I do apologise. If you find the name of the song, shout it at me, okay? So say, for example, if it's Britney Spears, Hit Me One More Time, you would shout Britney Spears' number, which is 24. Yeah, you go. You got the idea of the game. Okay? All right. Don't worry if you don't understand all of them. Okay? Oh, did you hear that? Steps. 35. Has anyone got 35? Put a line through that one if you've got 35. Okay, ready for the next one? Okay. Gorillas. Dare. Yeah, so you got it. What number's Dare? Has anyone spotted it? Dare, Gorillas. 19. And one last one. Oh, it's a tough one. Gala is this one, Freed from Desire. Can anybody spot it? Gala is the artist. 13, okay. We'll leave it there because it's not working particularly well, the sound system. But that's a little idea that you can play with the kids. Okay, so what you've got, one between 2, I have got some spares if you've not got one, is Jack Christian in my class yesterday. He chose the order on these pictures here. Now, I've taken this from a picture book. It's called The Arrival by Sean Tan. You can use any book you like as long as it's got lots of pictures in. Now, what I did is I snipped out these 6 pictures, and I said to Jack, could you put these in an order of your choosing? Okay? Could you put these in an order of your choosing? Now, what I want you to do is either with your partner or by yourself, I have got some spares. If you've not got one, just come and grab one. Is I want you to think of the story, okay? So if this is the first picture, this one's the second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, okay? Have a go, either with your partner or by yourself. If you've not got a sheet, just come and grab one. There you go. I have got a few spares. Sorry.
Sure.
Thanks. 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 I haven't got any spares, I'm afraid. Now everyone's got them all, sorry. Now, the nice thing about this activity is there is no right answer, there is no wrong answer. So what you could do here is you could literally just took those on my phone, sent them to the printer, chopped them out. You don't even need to chop them out. You could just give them, sort them out, or the children can sort them out. Now, as a teacher of primary subjects, as a teacher of English, it's really important is this. If the children cannot speak it, they won't be able to write it, okay? This is giving them opportunities to orally rehearse what it is they're saying before they commit to writing it. And we know what children are like. They try and keep things in their head, and they forget, okay? But what you've got here now is you've got a bit like a story map, you know, where you've got the beginning, the middle, and the end. That's there in front of them pictorially. And they've also had a chance to speak it out between a partner. And now, if they're working with the partner, well, that partner can be a good critical friend. Well, why is it like that? Why do you think he's included that? Well, I think it's this, okay? And it gives them a chance to discuss their ideas, and it makes them really think about what it is that they're going to include within that writing. So, orally rehearse, and quite a nice little one is, if they can't speak it, they can't write it. So give them opportunities to talk through their ideas. Yeah?
You said at the beginning, if they cannot speak it, they cannot write it. That means English is not their first language.
That's true.
So while they are discussing with each other, they will go back to their first language and talk. So,
well, again, my experience is largely from a British curriculum, and they do tend to speak British over there. So I can't speak as an expert on that. So even if this sort of, you might say, okay, we'll speak within the Arabic language or speak within a native language that they speak at home, okay, that's up for them, because they're getting the chance to speak their ideas before they commit to write it. So if they are writing in English, which they would be at Dubai British School, then they'd be discussing it in English, okay? If they were writing it in Arabic, then they could write it in Arabic as well, discuss it in Arabic, okay? So again, it's that idea of reading across the curriculum rather than just within that subject. Now, this is another nice activity that you could do. Again, you can do this in FS, right the way through to sort of 10, 11. You could even go beyond. So what I did with the staff at our school is I said, choose a picture, okay? And what I want you to do is, can you get your partner or partners to sit in that position without touching them, okay? So again, it's giving them a chance to orally rehearse. Well, we probably know that these two people are maybe feeling sad, which we want a better word than sad. This one is looking really sad. We want a better word than that. And something's going on over here, okay? So again, it's giving them a chance to orally rehearse. With the person sat next to you, if you want to choose one of them and see if you can put them into that pose without doing that, I'll give you 30 seconds to have a go at it, okay? Now, this idea, thank you for taking part, there you go. Chocolate bar for you, there you go. That's it, yeah. It's the last of my Costa. All right, okay. Now this I took from an idea, I was working in Salford before I moved to Dubai, and they used the acronym DIAL, which I'll write on the board for you over here, okay? DIAL. Now the D in there stands for deductive, okay? So within this example on the text, it says, explain how you can tell that this poem is spoken by a boy. So I'll read it for you. The Little Boy Lost by William Blake. Father, father, where are you going? Oh, do not walk so fast. Speak, father, speak to your little boy, or else I shall be lost. The night was dark, no father was there. The child was wet with dew. The mire was deep, and the child did weep, and away the vapour flew. So the children are going in there, and it says, explain how you can tell that the poem is spoken by a boy. So again, just with the person next to you, how do you know it's spoken by a boy? And I'll go on to the next question. The next one stands for inferential, okay? So this one, again, there's no right or wrong answers on this one. So you know the children you've got in your class who don't always put their hand up, they don't want to have a go because they're scared of getting it wrong. Well, this gets rid of the sort of fear of being wrong. So this question here is, what do you think's happened to the father? Again, have a little chat with the person next to you. What do you think's happened to the father? This one's the big one, all right? Historically, from my experience, this is the one that the children find particularly hard, the authorial one. Why has the author done this? Okay, this is one that they find particularly tricky. So why do you think William Blake repeated the words father and speak? Again, no right or wrong answer. I'm guessing it's to do with desperation. Please, Dad, don't go. I'm just calling after you. Okay, and there's a literal one for those people who might not be able to access all of it. How was the night described? So again, obviously this is going to be for children who are quite strong with reading, okay? We looked at that example before with the pictures, and we had to try and get our partner into that position, okay? Does this have to be just done in English? No, of course not, okay? This is where the children are using their reading skills across the curriculum, and that's a big focus, okay? That's a big focus across the region. Can the children use their reading skills in all subject areas? And for those who might not be a strong reader, okay, you can do it pictorially, okay, over here. That's something that we used in Salford called dial. I've brought it over into this area as well. So the L stands for literal. I'm not sure if the presentation is going to be shared, but my email address is on here. So if you drop me an email, I'll just reply with it for you as well. So now it's about high quality text, okay? So what I've done with the children at our school is we had a look, and everything that we do is underpinned by really good quality texts, okay? We don't try and sort of shoehorn in, so we're doing fairy tales, so I'm going to go and find this particular one, or I'm doing play scripts, I'm going to do this one. What we do is we choose a really good book, and we do lots of different writing from that. I'd recommend that. The inspector seemed to like that when we discussed it the other day. Now, what I've got over here for you is some song lyrics, okay? Now, song lyrics, so we discussed poetry. Children seem to like song lyrics a little bit more than poetry because they're modern, they can associate it with it, they see the flashing images on the TV that go with them, okay? Now, what I've worked with the children on is, can they construct some questions to go through with this, okay? So what I've got over here is, sorry, if you could take it and pass it over on your side. If you could just sort of take one and pass it on over there. I'm not sure how many there is, okay? Now, I'll touch on this, well, I'll discuss this almost after this one here, is about creating good quality questions. And this is going to link onto this reciprocal teaching or this reciprocal reading over here. So, coming round are a couple of songs there, okay? Just a couple of verses from them. And now what I get the children to do is, can they think about constructing their questions over this side over here, so that you could swap and answer their questions, and vice versa. You're going to have a look at, have you got Lady Gaga over there, is it? And you've got someone else, Freya Ridings over there. So you could write some questions, and they have a go at answering them, and you could write some questions, and they have a go at answering them. And you could do it on a big sheet. I haven't got any more spare, so if it's just one between two, if you could just pass it back for me, sorry, that would be great. Now, what we want the children to do is, can they come up with some really good questions? Because what they'll start off with is, what colour's their coat? Okay, how are they feeling? All right. We want them to use these sort of question starters with, for example, convince or explain or how do you know? Okay.
Can I explain my
Yeah.
So when you're having whether they use a dial or those types of questions, are you asking them to reference evidence?
Say again, sorry?
Are you asking them to reference evidence?
I would do for this one, because now, again, it's this idea of there's no right or wrong answers. The children are getting a chance to come up with these questioning skills. Is what I've done with this before is I've stuck that on a big sheet of sugar paper, and I've given the children a set of felt tip pens. I've given them some question starters, and they've had a go at sort of creating some questions based around the text. In other words, what they're doing is they're creating some comprehension questions.
How about the other strategy? Common core background, where we're pushed to do a lot of text-based evidence.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that it's not right or wrong.
Mm-hmm.
However, can you ask and then cite your evidence on what you're reporting?
Oh, definitely. So why do you think that? Okay, that would be the next, obviously, with the line of question. Yeah, sure. So again, that's another activity that you could do and take back into your schools as well. Now, this next one is a great way of boosting comprehension, okay? It's a great way of boosting comprehension. This one we discussed about boosting their phonetical knowledge, okay? Reading the words on the page. This one over here is about understanding, okay? Now, you can use this, I would say, from FS right the way through to sort of 10, 11-year-olds, even further on, okay? So what I do here, and I've got these for you, so you can feel free to take these. I have got some spare ones, is one person in my guided reading group, you're going to be in charge of just making predictions. Okay, so we might have a look at the pictures first, we might read a short bit, what's going to come next, okay? Now so for example, sorry, I'm just going to pick on you because you're sat near me, okay? You're going to be the predictor, okay? You don't have to move, it's okay, all right? The look of panic on your face, it's all right, okay? So you're just in charge of making predictions, okay? That's all you've got to focus on with your reading. So you're understanding, well, a good reader makes predictions, okay? Now the lady next to her, sorry, you're on the front row, never sit on the front row, okay? You're just going to be in charge of making summaries, okay? You're going to be the summarizer. So children, you know, when you ask them a question and said, okay, so what's happened in the text? What they'll do is they'll tell you everything, they'll think it's a memory challenge, and they'll try and remember it word for word and tell you every single thing they can possibly remember. What I say to the children is, just give me 3 of the main points, okay? So that's a skill in there, okay? Can you just summarise what you've read with 3 main points? I'm not interested in what they had for breakfast, how they got to school, or so on and so forth. I just want the key information. So you could definitely use the prediction in FS, okay? What's going to come next, okay? Summarise, you could definitely use that in FS. When it gets through to these ones, it's a little bit trickier, these ones, okay? And I have experienced it can be a little bit difficult. So the questioner, what I say to I teach year 3 at the moment, so they're 7 and 8-year-old, okay? The questioner, I say to them, you're the quiz master, okay? You're going to come up with some quiz questions that we can have a go at answering, okay? So when they're reading, they're just thinking of, right, okay, what information can I sort of try and catch people out with and look in there? And what I say then, this one is possibly one of the harder things to do, is the clarifier. So what I say is, if this is the quiz master, well, you're the first contestant at having a go at answering these questions over here, okay? And what it says on this as well is some other things that you can think of is maybe, and it's just okay to do that, and we need to encourage the children to be aware of that, it's okay not to understand everything over there, okay? Because how many times have we done that? Could you have a look at this for me? I'm not entirely sure what it's asking me to do. Okay, we need to educate the children in thinking that it's okay to sort of explain, I don't always understand everything. Okay, and we still do that in adult life. If you're reading through your Kindle, you come across a word you've never seen before, you click on it and you look it up and trying to make sense of it. So this is reciprocal reading. Now this, again, well, if you're thinking about reading across the curriculum, making predictions, we do that all the time, don't we, in science? We do that in maths, we do that in every other area. Summarising, we read for meaning, don't we, as well, okay? Because it's not just that the children read for pleasure, they read for meaning as well and pull that information away, okay? And the inspectors seem to like the fact that we were using this here, not just in our English lessons, in our reading lessons, but across the subject areas as well. So if you're thinking about what can you do to boost comprehension across your school, this is a nice way to do it, okay? And you can embed this across the school really, really quickly. What I could do with a follow-up session, I did mean to bring it, so I do apologise, is you could get a big sheet of paper and divide it up into 4 sections, as I've done. This is the prediction area, the question area, the summary, and I've missed something else out. The other one, sorry, I've just forgotten. And what they can do is they can write those ideas on a post-it note, stick it on there, and they can run that by themselves. Now, the theory is, with this one, is you get one child to be the boss, okay? All right, okay, I want you to read this bit for me. And then what you could do, after 5 or 10 minutes within that reading session, you could just rotate the jobs around so everyone gets an experience at it. I wouldn't be saying that this lady over here is going to be the predictor every single week, okay? Because that's not giving her a broad, balanced diet, okay? She's going to do it 5-10 minutes and then swap on to doing the other task in there as well, okay? So that is reciprocal reading, and they seem to like that we were using that across the school. Now, what I've got over here, there's my email address. If you squint your eyes really, really small, you can just about see it over there. If you would like this presentation, if it's not shared, just send me an email and I can reply to you, okay? It's chudson@dubaiBritishSchool.ae. I'm happy to email this over for you. And what I can also send you is something that I picked up from Salford. So all of these ideas, they're absolutely free and they're quite easy to embed within your practice. Now, just before I left to come out to Dubai, we're working in a school and really deprived area of Salford. Children were financially did not have much money at all, but their results were always excellent. They were the best in Salford, okay? And the children, they were coming in and they didn't have much support at home and the school was working wonders. And here are some of the things that they did. Now, where it says A, that's primarily for children at Key Stage 1, but Key Stage 2 can definitely get some outcomes out of that one. And where it says a 2 in front of it, that's primarily for Key Stage 2. And I've included some examples. So, for example, writing your own blurb for the book. This is what a younger child has done. And this is what a Key Stage 2 child has done. And I can share these with you. I'm happy to send this out for you. These are some of the tasks. So give your book marks out of 10 and explain why you've given it that mark. Find 3 examples where the writer uses interesting words. So now what the children are doing is not just reading for pleasure, they're reading to develop their writing as well, okay? So they're thinking of coming across new words, oh, I like that, I'm going to include that within my next piece of writing. And initially, they'll get it wrong. They'll use that word for every single piece of writing where it's not appropriate, but you're building their vocabulary. This one's quite a nice one. Copy out 3 sentences or phrases you really liked in this book. Explain why you've chosen them. So again, critically reflecting. And this one, if you could save only one character from the book in the event of a disaster, which one would it be and why? And remember to clearly explain your answer. Okay? So it's getting the children to read for meaning, not just for pleasure as well. So they've got to recap on what's so effective about it. That's my email address on there for you. Now, again, I do apologise. I'm just speaking purely from the British National Curriculum because that's all I know. I can't come here and explain about different curriculums. I just don't know it, okay? But this is what's working for me for 10 years, okay, and what's working at our school. Deliver your lessons through great books, okay? That's where to begin. So, for example, there's one book that I used back in the UK with the older children, 10 and 11. They had to go at writing some stories from it, okay, a flashback, life before the event. Poetry, report writing, so you could write as an inspector going to visit the family and so on and so forth. Explanation, communication reviews, and open-ended. Give the children the choice, okay? So if you're writing a diary, well, let them choose the character because children have got far better imaginations than us, okay? Why limit them? Why say, okay, write a diary as the boy? Well, why does it have to be the boy? Why can't it be the boy's bag or something like that, okay? Let them be in charge of it and see what you get out of it. And take risks, okay? We spend a lot of time in school. We spend more time in school than we do with our family or friends, okay? So we might as well enjoy what it is that we're doing, okay? And we've got this guy over here, great guy. Live life fully while you're here, experience everything, and take care of yourself and your friends. Have fun, be crazy, be weird, go out and screw up because you're going to do it anyway, okay? I've been teaching for 10 years. I haven't got it right all the time, and I'm standing in front of you here not as an expert, just wanting to share with you some ideas that might help your reading, okay? It might get the children to enjoy it a little bit more, okay? Picking up a book, because we're battling against PlayStations and Xboxes and iPads nowadays, okay? We want the children to choose the book for their entertainment rather than the electronic devices, okay? And be passionate. Be an ambassador for reading, okay? This one here, where focus goes, energy flows. Parents and teachers are the kids' first superheroes, okay? You go into FS and the teacher, they can't do enough for them as well. So if they see that you picking up books and reading to them, okay, they're going to go home and pick up books and read it to them. And when you're doing meetings for parents, cascade that message to them as well, okay? Let them see you reading, be a good role model for reading, and then you'll get the high-level outcomes, okay? I've been asked for the last few minutes to turn to this slide to provide some feedback, okay? So if you could go on to whatworks.ae, okay, and provide feedback, that would be great, okay? I have no chocolate bars left to give you, but however, I do have over here some of these reciprocal teaching cards, okay? You can find those online, and I'm here for I can answer any questions that you might have, okay? Thanks very much for coming. Yeah.